Hey everyone, welcome to Subnet 0 and welcome to my channel. So in the previous video, we had understood the concept of subnetting. In this video, we will understand the practical examples of it, okay? So let's open up our pink circle. Yeah, this pink circle essentially represents your company and your private network, okay? This is what it represents. So let's say if we have to divide this in half, okay? Where one is HR and the other is IT. And both have equal amount of computers. We have to divide this network in exact half. How would that work? Now, keeping this in mind, let's create our first example. Okay. So if you have been given this IP address, that is 192.168.0.0/24. When we talk about /24, let's open up our cheat sheet. That means this the column of AC /24. That means you'll have all the 256 IP address lumped into a single network. But that's not what we want, right? We want to divide this into half. So what we will do, we will move one step towards the right. We will go to /25, the column AG. In /25, it will get divided into half. And this is how it will look. First, let's update this to /25. This will be a solution. And it will look like this. Let me just, yeah. So this is how this /25 will get divided into exact halves, which will start from 0 to 127. This will be subnet 0, also the name of my channel. And the second subnet would be 128 to 255. This is what we call a subnet 1. Okay. And this is the dividing boundary. Okay. So now that you have understood this, let's see how the IP address gets converted into action when it comes to the HR and IT department over here. So I've just added the template to ensure our time is not wasted and so that you are able to understand it accurately. Okay. So in HR, this very division is now has been put into implementation. So when it's put into implementation, how will this look like? The network address of HR will be 192.168.0.0 and the broadcast address will be 192.168.0.127. Yeah, both in pink. I've color coded it so that understanding is easier. Everything else in between, that's green, 192.168.0.1 to 126 over here. This is all usable ones. Okay. Similarly, in IT, it will be 192.168.0.128, which is the network address. 192.168.0.255 is the broadcast address of IT department. Yeah. Again, let me repeat. This is the network address of HR. This is the broadcast address of HR. This is the network address of IT. This is the broadcast address of IT. Everything else in between is the usable address of IT department alone. So this is how we divide. This is a very, very basic example, simple example of how we have to divide it into half. But let's say if there are some management changes and if we add more people and more departments, let's say if we add sales or admin and we have to divide these 4 departments in exactly equal 4 parts, how would that work? So let me just clear this board. So in the CIDR notation, the slash notation, let's open up our cheat sheet. We will move one more step towards the right, /26 in the column AE. When we look at /26, you see, it will further get divided into 4 parts. Okay, so we'll turn this into /26. How will that look? So this is how it will look. Let me just make some adjustments. Just hold on. So once we do /26, it will get divided into 4 parts. And those 4 parts will look like this: 0 to 63, 64 to 127, 128 to 191, and 192 to 255. This will be subnet 0, this will be subnet 1, this will be subnet 2, and this will be subnet 3. So in application, it will look like this. So in action, I've just made some visual adjustments. Let me just zoom in over here so that you guys will understand. So when it comes to the practical application of it, okay, in HR, it will be 192.168.0.0. That's the network address. Everything else in between, you can read it for yourself, is the usable IP addresses. 192.168.0.63 is the broadcast address, okay? This is subnet 0, okay? The subnet 1 is the IT. That is it. That is the network begins 192.168.0.64. Everything else in between, you can read it for yourself, is the usable ones. This one is the broadcast address. This one is the broadcast address which ends with 27. Okay, 192.168.0.127. This is subnet 1. Similarly, subnet 2, the network address is 192.168.0.128 and ends with 191. You can see it for yourself. Similarly, admin, I'm sure you must have guessed, this is the network, this is the broadcast, and everything else in between is the usable ones. So this is the division of subnetting. When we are talking about dividing it into 4 equal halves, yeah? And then if we divide it further, the same logic applies. I'm sure you must have understood how the pattern works, okay? You must have figured out how the pattern around it works. But let's say all departments don't have equal number of computers, yeah? Like for example, HR can have around 20 computers, or IT will need 200 devices, or I don't know, sales will need 15 devices, and admin will need another 30 devices. There is this fair amount of variation in real life application, okay? So real life application, how the network is divided, we will get into the next video, okay? Again, just for your information, this one that we are looking at, this model that we saw, and even the previous models that we saw, where the networks are divided into fixed halves, okay, into exact halves. As in, each network has the exact amount of IP addresses. That is what we call as FLSM. Now, FSLM is fixed length subnet masking. That means all the subnets are equal in the numbers of IP addresses that it consists, okay? So far, in both examples, this was example 2. Yeah, this was actually example, sorry. This was actually example 2. In both examples 1 and examples 2, we studied FLSM, okay? But real life does not work that way. In real life, HR may need like 50 computers, or IT might need like 100 computers, or sales and marketing will need 150 computers. Now, how do we slice the network into such a way so that is the most efficient, okay? Here is where variables length subnet masking will come. As of now, we need not focus on this. The key aspect of this video was to understand how subnetting works, assuming all the departments have fixed amount of computers, okay? One more thing I just want to shed light on, in case you have missed it. I've added this 2 extra rows. One is in the cheat sheet, one is total IPs per block and the usable IPs per block. So if you zoom into it, you will see that it has the exact number of IP addresses each block can accommodate. This one is the total number of IP addresses which can be used in each block, and this is usable IP address, which is -2. So this cheat sheet has plenty of information, so you don't have to do it. Removes a lot of guesswork, okay? So I hope this was useful. You're able to understand how subnetting works in motion and through practical examples, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.